Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to deliver your September 2016 mid-month readings. As you can see from my background, I am back in my home base again after having been in Eastern Europe for a month, trying to get back into the time zone, which is sometimes a bit of a challenge. My hair is its usual electrocuted mess today. But as those of you who follow me know, I did continue to post and work with clients while I was gone. So thank you so very much for continuing to watch and listen and follow and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. All your feedback and support is so very welcome, and it means so very much to me. And I just cannot tell you how much I continue to love to read the comments that you post in response to the videos, both on the channel itself and the ones that some of you send via email. You guys are great with the comments, and I love reading how the readings play out for you so predictively in your lives, for those of you for whom they do resonate. These are general readings, of course, so make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well. If this is your primary sun sign, it may or may not resonate predictively for you during this month or during the mid-months. So make sure to check your rising and your moon sign. They may play out a little more predictively for you. Or if you're like me, I often find that each of my three signs, sun, moon, and rising, can resonate for me a little more predictively in different areas of my life. For example, my sun sign, I find I connect with a little bit more in regards to business and more of my public life. And my rising sign, I tends to play out more predictably for me in my personal relationships. And my moon sign is more about deeper innermost feelings, fears, and often spiritual matters as well. So just make sure to check all three signs to get as whole and clear and definitive a picture as possible of the time frame that the reading covers. And thank you for watching. And thank you always, a special thank you always sent out to those of you who continue to reach out for one-on-one readings. I appreciate very much the trust that you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. And I can't tell you what a joy it is to read for you. Personal readings are my favorite things to do. And thank you to my regular clients too for being so great with consistently keeping me updated on how everything plays out moving forward in your lives. I appreciate that very much as well. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, and that will tell you a little bit more about myself and what I do, what I offer, and my contact information, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would be delighted to work with you. So send me an email and we'll go from there. I do readings full-time, so I'm able to get back with you quite quickly and schedule a reading within a fairly timely time period. I'm always asked about turnaround time, and you know, it always really varies, but it's typically anywhere within a couple of days to up to a week and a half or so, almost always within 2 weeks, so depending on whether it's recorded or whether you want a live or a Skype reading, which can sometimes take a day or so longer if we have to coordinate you know, time zones and things like that. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll set something up for you. So I am continuing to use my beloved Gilded Tarot by Cyril Marchetti, and even though we're focusing more on the last half of the month and the month in its entirety, I'm still going to be using the same 8-card spread with an additional 9th card representing your overall energy and advice for the reading. So enough with the blathering, let's move right into this. This reading is for Aquarius for September 2016 mid-month. God, Spirit, Angels, Guide, show me the energies for the air sign of the lovely Aquarians, the water bearers, for September 2016 mid-month. What does the remainder of September 2016 hold for our lovely airy Aquarians? Show me the energies for the air sign of Aquarius for the remainder of September 2016. What is in store for Aquarius for September 2016 mid-month? Okay. We begin with the Eight of Wands, followed by the Six of Pentacles. Sorry, Aquarius, I was just getting something in there. I had to put it together. Next, we have the Five of Cups, followed by the Three of Wands. Okay, the Five of Swords, followed by the Sun. And we end the month with the Ace of Pentacles, followed by the Queen of Pentacles. Lovely. From the bottom of the deck, your crowning card representing overall energy and advice, the Major Arcana card of Temperance. So balance and moderation looks to be key for you this month, the remainder of this month, Aquarius. So probably time to maybe subdue just a little bit some of that lovely airy energy you have and be a little bit more grounded and balanced. Let's just take a look here. It's interesting. I'm seeing, and perhaps, you know, it's the Mercury in retrograde thing. I'm not an astrologer, although I do keep up on the basics of things. But you know, I'm almost wrapping up just the last couple of the mid-month readings, and there seems to be, for the majority of the readings, a general theme of a final letting go of the last kind of piece of the past, some kind of loss or something from the past. It feels like it's the last letting go of the last piece of it before moving on into new beginnings and new pathways, which, I mean, new beginnings, I think almost every sign, if not every sign, has had aces come up. Aces and the Empress kind of energy. You do have the Ace of Pentacles here, which has also come up quite a bit for the mid-month readings. You don't have the Empress, but you do have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a very similar kind of energy. So let's begin, Aquarius. We find ourselves in the middle of September 2016 with the Eight of Wands paired with the Six of Pentacles. So, and I am seeing, so we've got a couple of Wands and a couple of Pentacles and one Cups and one Swords. I'm feeling like it's more earth energy here. So the Eight of Wands. Wands is governed by the energy of fire, the element of fire. So it's a pretty active, action-oriented suit, manifesting, creating, building, change, movement, action, power. It's a very dynamic movement, forward-moving suit. The Eight of Wands is a card of communication going back quite swiftly. There is a certain feeling of speed associated with the Eight of Wands. Fast communication. It could be unexpected communication coming quite swiftly, quite profoundly. And communication going back and forth, but positive as well in the upright position. And again, quite swiftly and perhaps quite unexpectedly. The Eight of Wands can also represent travel by air, travel of any kind really. But again, coming together quite swiftly and perhaps sometimes rather unexpectedly, although I'm feeling for you this is more communications energy. And it's paired with the Six of Pentacles. So Pentacles is a suit governed by earth, the element of earth, and it's a suit that is about things in our earthly, material, physical, tangible world, things we can see and touch and feel most often. And it frequently points to things like money, finances, property, resources, job, etc., tangible things. You can apply the same energy to spirituality and love and relationships, but even there, the energy is quite tangible, or it speaks of tangible results of the efforts we put into those areas of our lives. The Six of Pentacles is an interesting card. It's not always an easy card to read. It's a card of mutuality in love and relationships and can point to the mutual give and take, a healthy, balanced relationship, because it speaks to the giving and receiving of a gift, or the giving and receiving of energy back and forth in an even sort of way. It can represent the getting or giving of some kind of tangible tangible gift, often money. So at around the middle of September, a little bit before, perhaps a little bit after, time being kind of fluid, it looks like I actually am feeling that tangible, almost financial or property oriented energy off of the Six of Pentacles. It feels like there's communications. It feels like a flurry, like it's communication going back, a lot of communication going back and forth quite quickly. And it's about, for a lot of you, it's about the getting a gift or getting of something tangible, or an interchange of money or resources somehow. But I'm feeling property, like for some of you this is around property. It could be communication about I'm getting escrow or closing on escrow or something like that for a home. Some of you may be buying a home for the first time, or the second time. You could just be buying a home. We do end actually with the Ace of Pentacles, which I often refer to as the moving card, because it comes up often when people are moving to a new apartment, a new home, or relocating to another part of the state, or out of the state, or even out of the country. So it feels like there's communication going back and forth. Some of you may have received news that you've received a gift of some kind, a monetary gift, perhaps a bit of an inheritance. It could be that some of you are on the philanthropic end of it, that you're actually giving a gift of either money or resources or property of some kind. But I am getting a property and moving energy off of this. Like the buying or selling of a home, mutual exchange, or exchange of funds somehow. And we do end with that Ace of Pentacles too. So however it plays out for you, it's tangible energy, and there's communication coming in kind of fast and furious about it, but it feels very positive. Now right next to that we have the Five of Cups paired with the Three of Wands. Excuse me. So the Five of Cups. Cups is a suit governed by water. It's all about that watery, fluid world of feelings and emotions, relationships and love. All different kinds of relationships and all different kinds of love. It's an emotional suit. It's about our emotional landscape, feeling landscape, and relationships, how we relate to people in the world around us. The Five of Cards is a card of focusing too much attention, spending too much time kind of stuck in the past, about grieving a loss of some kind. You can see that the man on this card is sunk down on his knees in the grass, and he's obviously in a lot of grief over these three cups, which are tipped over and spilled out, representing for you, Aquarius, some sense of grief, of loss, something that you've lost, something that's been taken from you, something that's changed, what no longer is, what no longer remains. There's a time for kind of acknowledging and honoring and going through the grieving period when we've lost something. But this is a card that represents getting stuck in it, which basically means being stuck in the past. There's a time to acknowledge and honor whatever the source of our pain and loss is, but then there comes a time where it's time to let go. It's kind of time to stand up and brush ourselves off and give it one last kiss and kind of say goodbye to it. And it's interesting because the last two signs I've read for, which were Cancer and Leo, had an element, the same card, an element of this in their reading as well. Again, it feels like for a lot of signs, it's about letting go of a piece of your past, letting go of grief or loss that perhaps you've been kind of focused on for too long, because this isn't the Three of Cups, it's the Five of Cups. Right behind this man are these two beautiful golden glowing goblets, still upright, still full, which represents that not all is lost, that there's still blessings in your environment in the form of things or people. And they can also represent opportunities which may come along, which you may miss because, again, you're too focused on what no longer is, on what you've lost, which basically means being stuck in the past. And the fact that it's come up, Aquarius, means that it's time to let go. And a lot of people sometimes get stuck in that holding on to the painful emotions around a loss, because letting go of that loss for them, there's the fear of it's kind of losing all over again, or that you're forgetting the source of the loss entirely. And it's not that. We can take the best of it with us. It's just time to get kind of unstuck from focusing on it and move forward, because you can't look backwards and forwards at the same time. So, and actually it's paired with a card that kind of echoes that message with opposite energy, because that Five of Cups is paired with the Three of Wands. Again, we have that fire energy of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card about the future. It's a card about building foundations for the future and looking ahead in the future and waiting to see the outcome of work that you've invested into the future. Wands is a very action-oriented suit, but of all the cards in the suit of Wands, the Three of Wands is probably the slowest, because it's more a card of patience, gestation, and waiting. It points to the energy of, you can see this man is standing with his back to us and he's watching this ship, and these two, he's holding on to a third wand, and these two wands behind him are planted firmly in the ground. This represents being at a place where you've done everything you can, you've invested everything you can into something, you've planted the seeds, you've done all your homework, you've done all the research, you've done everything you can to kind of prep that ship and outfit it and send it out, and now you're waiting to see what it's bringing back with it when it comes back. Will it be full, half full, empty? It's a card of actually having done everything you can to sow the seeds for a foundation for your future, because it's still in the early stages. It's at the 3, but you've done the foundation work, and now you're waiting to see how the rest of it plays out and what more needs to be done. It's a very forward-moving, future-looking kind of energy. It's the exact opposite of this Five of Cups energy, which is a card of being stuck in the past and too much focus and attention on what no longer remains. And this card is a strong indicator that what's going to enable you to successfully overcome that feeling of being kind of stuck in that past and that pain and that loss, that it's time to move on from that, and that actually putting the work into moving forward into your future in what appears to be a very tangible, visible kind of way, and it could be relocating for some of you, or moving, is what's going to help overcome that sense of loss and grief, which in a psychological, logical way, Aquarius, makes sense, because the only thing that gets us out of inertia and out of grief and loss, when we're stuck on the couch eating, 5 gallons of chunky monkey, is actually action. It's about, okay, getting up and actually beginning to put the work into moving forward, particularly in building something else for your future and moving into new beginnings. And it may be difficult at first, but you build up speed pretty quickly. That's your advice for moving through this. And again, just like with a lot of the other signs, I feel like this is a last piece of letting go. It feels like you've already done a lot of work in letting go. It just feels like this is just the last piece of a bigger picture of letting go, so you can move forward completely on this new path. And it looks like you're successful at it too, because right next to that we have the combination of the Five of Swords paired with the beautiful major arcana energy of the Sun. I love that card. Great card. It's a lightning, uplifting sort of feeling. So the Five of Swords, and you have two fives right next door to each other too. I mean, sitting right next to each other. And fives in numerology can represent conflict, the challenge, instability, but really all conflicts, but they really represent opportunities as well, because all conflicts and challenges are opportunities to overcome something, thereby becoming stronger, wiser, getting more insight and clarity. They allow us opportunities to become stronger in areas that we may be weak in. So again, it looks like there's a little bit of stuck energy in here. Again, I feel like related to a loss of the past, but it is about moving forward and letting go. The Five of Swords is a card, technically a victory. Sometimes in some situations, depending on the reading and the surrounding cards, it can represent a rather shallow kind of victory that doesn't hold a lot of value, or spending too much in trying to win or be right, when really the cost outweighs what the actual the cost outweighs what the actual prize is, like being right at the cost of a relationship or something. But it can just also represent just going through a battle and winning, but that it's cost you a lot. The question that always accompanies the Five of Swords is it worth it? And only you can decide that. And there's some situations where you realize that winning or being right or whatever it is you have to do to gain what you want is just not worth it because the cost is too high. And sometimes the answer to this question will be yes, the cost is worth it. It is a high cost, but it is worth it. And I feel like for you, that's pretty much what it is for the majority of you guys watching. You can see this man has just completed a battle or a challenge or, some kind of struggle of some kind, whatever this represents. And he's won, and he's gathered up all his opponent's weapons, thereby effectively removing the means by which they can hurt him anymore, which, sitting next to the Five of Cups, about letting go of this last piece of the past, letting go of this loss and grief, taking these weapons from his opponents, thereby removing the tools that has been used against him, is also it's also symbolic for taking back control of your life, which is what you do when you make a decision to let go of something and turn around and move forward into your future. It's taking back control, which is what this man is doing. He's holding his own aloft in victory too, but it's cost him. It's cost him quite a bit. The colors are still kind of grim and murky. He looks tired, worn out, exhausted. He's bleeding from a little cut on his forehead. I mean, this battle has cost him a lot, and it always comes with the question, is it worth it? And only you can decide that, Aquarius. But it looks like it is. Whatever struggle or challenge you have to go through, and whatever you've endured and managed to get through, it looks like it's worth it, particularly if it has to do, particularly around this issue that it feels like there's such a flurry of communication going back and forth. Again, I feel like some of you have been the recipient of a gift of some kind, monetary or property or something like that. For some of you, you're having a successful back and forth energy about, again, I'm getting property matters, perhaps buying or selling a home. And for those of you, it could represent, I feel like for some of you, you're selling a home that you have a lot of memories wrapped up in. However this resonates for you, you could apply the same energy to relationships, love and romance-based relationships, although to be honest, I'm not getting any of that kind of energy out of these cards, but this reading is not for me, it's for you. So however that plays out, I always rely on you guys to give excellent feedback. Anyway, for the majority of you, it looks like it's been a struggle and it's cost, but it looks like it's worth it because paired with that Five of Swords is the major arcana card of the Sun. There's a strong element of just sheer fun about the Sun card. This represents a lightening up of energy, an uplifting, kind of a taking a deep breath, winter into spring, coming out of the dark into the light kind of feeling. It's just an uplifting of energy in business, job, financial matters. If money's been kind of tight or restrictive, this represents kind of a loosening up of that energy which was previously restrictive. No, it doesn't mean you can go out and spend your whole paycheck on whatever it is your thing is, but it just represents a kind of a loosening up of a restrictive energy. And again, there's a strong element of fun and success and illumination. And it also represents too, in whatever dealings that you're in, to be as transparent as possible, because the Sun illuminates all. The Sun, everything is visible under the light of the Sun. So if this has anything to do with business dealings or negotiating legal matters or property stuff, just make sure to be as transparent as possible. But again, strong element of fun too, and it looks like you've been through a bit of the ringer, Aquarius, and it could also represent some very strong, profound advice to just go out and kick your heels up quite a bit. But it's wonderful energy any way you look at it. Whatever you've been through and invested, it's been worth it. Because at or towards the end of September 2016, we end with the Ace of Pentacles, with the Queen of Pentacles. An excellent way to end the reading, actually. Pentacles is that lovely grounded earth energy, and aces represent new beginnings, new pathways. Let me turn my music down here. Aces represent the seeds, promise, potential, the beginning of the unfolding of something. It looks to be quite beautiful and to play out into something quite grounded and long-lasting, because it's the Ace of Pentacles. I do refer to this card often as the moving card, because I see this card come up all the time when people are moving, relocating, moving to a new apartment or house, or sometimes even out of the country, because it's about new beginnings and new pathways in a very tangible, visible, like earth energy kind of way. So again, some of you are going to be moving into a new home. Some of you, it's like buying and selling. You're like selling your home and moving into something else. But some of you, a lot of you, I think, are actually moving. You could be renovating as well. However this plays out for you in new beginnings, it's in a tangible sort of way. And it could be that this communication and this, for some of you, I feel, are getting kind of an unexpected gift of money or resources or something, and that enables you to actually end a period of mourning in your life, and perhaps of doing without as well, but gives you the resources at the end of the month to kind of move into this new beginning energy, because now you finally have the actual physical, tangible resources that you need. And for some of you, that can also include moving. I have to say too, your crowning card being Temperance, and you also have the Sun card, that combination of major arcana cards in one spread, in one reading, can sometimes represent that you're actually been a good model for other people, or a good example for other people, by what you've actually been through and what you've done without, what you've had to go without with such grace and temperance until now, where it looks almost as if you're being rewarded for that. At the end of the month, it's often running into tangible new beginnings, whether again that's moving, or you're beginning a new pathway in another tangible. It could represent starting a new job too, or getting a promotion. And I feel there's some sense of unexpectedness about it too, but it looks to be very beneficial for you, and it has the promise to build into something else quite beautiful, and grounded down the road, and much more stable and reliable. But remember that aces are seeds. There's entire worlds contained in seeds, but in order for them to manifest, they have to be planted and watered and fertilized and pruned and nurtured and all of that stuff. Otherwise, they just fizzle out in the beginning as a great new idea or a great new start. It needs to be followed through and nurtured so that it can grow to its beautiful, full manifestation. So that Ace of Pentacles is paired with the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is the perfect person to have that Ace of Pentacles, because she is a great nurturer, caretaker. This would be, and she's very good at navigating the day-to-day physical, material aspects of the world, everything from finances to home. She's a wonderful caretaker. She would be the one that would, bring you in and cook you a meal and all of that stuff. Own her own business. Her kids always look great. She makes wonderful dinners. The lawn is mowed, the roses are trimmed. She's a member of the PTA. She volunteers twice a week at her local church, and she makes it look effortless. Ending with the Queen of Pentacles is a wonderful sign too, because this is the energy of the Queen of Pentacles is all about home, the comforts of home, the abundance of home, and it represents that your happiness and joy lie in your home base and your home foundation as well. And paired with that Ace of Pentacles card, it's even a stronger indication of new home, or something to do with that kind of home domestic energy, having new pathways there. But that's where your happiness and joy lies, and it looks very beautiful and successful. So for those of you who are moving, let me know. This feels like there's something extra with it too, some kind of unexpected, more financial blessings or tangible energy around that as well. It's like, it looks beautiful, but it also feels like there's something more that makes it kind of extra blessed. So you'll have to let me know what that is. Your overall crowning card is Temperance, another major arcana card, a beautiful one too. This is about balance, patience, moderation. It's a higher echo of this Three of Wands energy too. About patience and waiting and gestation, planting seeds, which you're doing at the end of the month as well. It's about being balanced. It's about holding opposite extremes in perfect unison and perfect harmony, which is what this woman is doing, but remaining balanced and grounded in the middle of them. Kind of like, so for some of you for whom this conflictive energy still feels very real and you're struggling to let go of something, this is about staying kind of grounded in that, mentally and emotionally stable, which you're actually typically quite good at, Aquarius, because you're an air sign, which is a more mental, cerebral, intellectual suit, and you're able to kind of compartmentalize and come from a place of reflection and assessment and working through things in a step-by-step manner that sometimes some of the other cards struggle with. But again, because you typically are better at coming from a place of the head than the heart, sometimes your challenge can be in staying emotionally balanced too. And this would be advice to kind of work on that this month, that's going to help kind of see you through and achieve these beautiful new beginnings at the end. You can kind of look at it as being in the middle of a teeter-totter or a seesaw with your emotions. If you're at one end or the other, you're kind of at the mercy of the elements, the wind, the weather, somebody coming along and bouncing you up and down. But if you're in the middle, if you find your center, that middle place, and get grounded, which is what the Temperance card represents, it doesn't really matter what goes on either end. You typically remain stable and balanced, and you're not going to fall off and knock your head. So balance, moderation, patience, and yeah, I'm feeling particularly emotional balance is going to be important for you this month, Aquarius. So it's an interesting reading. Not quite sure what it's referring to specifically, but I feel like for the majority of you, it's an earth energy, tangible sort of thing. Property, moving. There could be some career, job stuff wrapped up in this as well. Again, I feel like some of you are getting some unexpected news of resources or the green light on something which enables you to move ahead on these new beginnings by the end of September or the beginning of October. So Aquarius, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope it has not confused you too much and that you found it at least somewhat useful. And it's given you some wisdom and some clarity or some food for thought on the remainder of September 2016. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on that little About button for more information, and you can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be very happy to work with you. So until I see you all again in a couple of weeks for the October 2016 general readings, as always, Aquarius, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.